Hello, dear ones. Here it is. This is my 2020 YouTube debut. The show is about to begin. Would you please kindly make your way to your assigned seat? Anywho, well, never in a million years did I think my debut would look like this. Let's see. Greasy hair, unwashed. Check. Adult acne, full force. What else do we get? Wrinkled shirt, check. Cause ain't nobody got time for ironing. So there we are. It is no longer the 5th of March, now the 6th of March, I believe, or maybe even 7th. Who's keeping track? The world is topsy-turvy, and I'm putting it mildly because I love me some euphemisms. And quite frankly, I no longer give a fudge what I look like or what people may think of me. Let's see. So until only a few short weeks ago, my main concerns were and I say A because, I'm so deep, getting my skin clear, because ain't nobody searching for a pimply-ass late 30s woman. Getting a new job, because I'm currently unemployed, not because I'm a bum, but because my contract expired. And finally settling down in one place for more than a couple of years at a time. And I apologize, by the way, for looking away from the camera. This is very new to me, so bear with me. So those were my plans going forward up until a couple of weeks ago. But for those of you who have not been living under a rock for the past couple of months, I think you know what's going on right now. And I have to say, all of those concerns seem very, very, very trivial right now. And I'm sure you share my sentiments. I basically just want everybody to stay safe and alive. So without getting too deep with this and without bringing anybody down, because that's not the point of this video. The point is to possibly help people, however many, however few. The reason I'm making this video is, well, first and foremost, I, like everybody else at some point during this, I'm not going to name what issue that's going around the world right now, I panicked. I had a few days of extreme panic and nightmares, and I was afraid to go to sleep. And basically, I've been watching various videos, some that exacerbated my panic, and luckily a lot that didn't, and actually a lot of videos made by mostly East Asia-based YouTubers, vloggers, which have been really helpful in calming me down and sort of bringing me a more optimistic perspective on things. There are a lot of people, especially professional vloggers and YouTubers, who are very, who still put out lots of very positive and interesting content, and that sort of, it just shows the world goes on. We don't know what's going to happen, but people are still thinking, people are still laughing, people are still producing things, and that's the way we should keep going, I believe. So that's where my inspiration came from. My idea here is to sort of contribute to and build on that momentum that those mostly, well, let's keep it real, mostly young people, because young people tend to be more optimistic. I don't think I fall into the old demographic quite yet, so I'm going to try and be very youthful in my spirit and optimism. So who am I making this video for? Clearly I'm not a professional YouTuber, as you can see both from the setup angles and lack of primping and preening prior to video. I'm making it so that my friends and family know what's going on with me here, and I will say where in France. You might know that France is currently, I think, number 4 in the world in terms of number of cases of the thing we won't mention. So it's kind of scary. It's kind of quite scary. But I want my friends and family to know what's happening with me. So I'll try to make these updates regularly, at least once a week. Obviously, you're like, well, I'm sure you can talk to your friends and family online, on Skype, on whatever thing you're using, send them emails. This is true. But I find that seeing is believing, and I find it's much more useful and helpful to see somebody, I don't know, alive, well, lively, there are some things that don't translate well through writing. And by the way, I love writing, so I'm not in any way negating the power of writing, but I feel this is a better medium. Why online? Why on YouTube? Why make it public? Because I don't know who might benefit from this kind of information. I'm not professional. I don't have any expert advice, but if my video can have even the slightest positive impact on anybody, the way that other videos have had on me, then it's worth making it. And I don't care that, this is going out into the world. I'll never be able to get rid of this video, though I look haggard and tired and all sorts of crazy, but that's not what's important right now. Second reason I'm making the video, well, actually I've just described it, to possibly provide useful, though non-expert, advice and hopefully a bit of cheer as well. And C, and this for me is very important, I don't have Facebook and I don't plan on having one. This is my way of getting all my friends, family, and potential new friends as well, hopefully, to keep in touch and sort of update me on their own situations around the world, via YouTube comments if you have a channel, via LinkedIn messages if you have LinkedIn, or if you're connected with me on LinkedIn, or just straight email for people who know me well and have my email address. Yeah, I guess I'm using this instead of Facebook because frankly it just frazzles me. I don't like looking at it. So yeah, those are my reasons. I hope that this will be of help to somebody, and please, if you know me, especially if you know me, please do get in touch with me. I'd like to know that everybody's okay. B, I have a lot of friends who are single, living alone, and a lot of them living as expats outside of their own country, away from their families. And I never want anybody to feel alone, especially in a situation like this. So please get in touch and keep in touch and try and keep positive. And I think if we stick together and talk a lot, we can keep the energy high and more positive. So, again, just want to make a disclaimer, by the way, because I don't really know how YouTube works in terms of sort of non-sponsored comment, non-sponsored, what is it? It's not promotion, but like recommendations. Any recommendation I make here is completely non-sponsored. It's just based on my personal experience and things that have helped me. So that's a disclaimer. Any ideas or advice I offer, please, should be taken with a grain of salt. Use your skepticism by all means. Use your intuition if you believe in such things. Use your knowledge and brain to figure out if this is useful or applicable to you. Again, I reiterate, probably for the third and last time, I'm done, not an expert. I'm just a friendly voice with some ideas that may help some of you during this time. So whatever can be of help, use it. My general rule of thumb when accepting advice, especially with things that I don't know about, is if it can't hurt me, it doesn't hurt to try. So if you think whatever I recommend, okay, it might be woo-woo, it might be random, but if it doesn't hurt you to try, I'd say maybe give it a try. Up to you. So instead of going on and on about all the things I'd like to recommend, if there are products, if there are, I don't know, meditations for those of you who are interested in meditation, things like that, I'll put them in the links below the video and explain a little bit about what they are. Otherwise, I'm just clogging the video with what sounds like, paid promoted content, which it's definitely not, so that's of no interest. And so we'll see how that goes. I'd love to hear your comments. If you do try any of the things that I recommend, I'd love to hear how it's going, if you're enjoying it, if it's helping. Again, the more positive momentum we can build, the better things are going to go. We don't know how this is going to end. We don't know what the casualties will be. But what we can do is try and stay as sane and positive as possible. I know it's hard to say upbeat in a situation like this, but whatever time we have left on Earth, whether it's 1,000,000 years, whether it's one day, let's try to make the best of it. So, relevant info under the video. I'll just mention a couple of things which I think are very important, like super important right now. There seem to be worldwide, well, at least in France, mask and disinfectant shortages. Now, again, some people have chosen not to use masks. I think most people are now using disinfectant. Some people are just saying, it don't matter, we don't need a mask. Personally, I wear a mask when I go outside. better safe than sorry, or what have you. It gives me a feeling of extra security, which also calms my body and doesn't, put me in fear mode, doesn't activate the adrenal response, which drains you and makes you weaker, by the way. So if I go out, I wear a mask. If you can't get your hands on a mask, I will send you a link to a video. I think it's made by, I guess it's a channel, South China Morning Post, where they released a video of like a tutorial on how to make your own mask with readily available materials inside your home, and which are, I think, something like 90% as effective as the recommended masks. So you don't have to freak out too much. Second thing, I'll put a link below as well about with tutorials or instructions on how to make your own hand sanitizer, because I know that's been in short supply or like near impossible to find. Again, I apologize, I'm not looking at the camera. Bad, naughty debutante. That's the wrong term to use, but whatever. So I know a lot of people are concerned about that. We'll see if we can do something about that. I'm gonna end the video very soon. I just want to say to all of you who know me that I am currently staying with my sister. My parents are well, my sister is well, her family is well. We are being careful, but we're still functioning more or less normally. We're not going outside very much, but we're doing our best, and we're doing our best to keep as cheerful as possible. And we're doing everything on a practical level that we can to sort of feel more secure. Again, we don't know, like, for example, people going crazy about toilet paper. We don't know if that's useful. We don't know if any of the things practically we're doing are useful, but if they can procure you a feeling of peace and sort of safety, even if it's an illusion, it's still better for you because it's helping your body maintain its optimal immunity levels. You don't want to freak out your body. That's the main thing. For those of you who live in places where there is such a thing as sunshine, get it whichever way you can. If you don't want to go outside, I don't know, sit in front of your window and get that D vitamin, or vitamin D, whatever, D vitamin. Vitamin C, very important. That's always important anyway, but get as much as you can, I'd say. And yeah, just use your common sense. Okay, so that's the update. Just to end the video, I wanted to tell you a slightly weird anecdote. So I haven't been out for a few days. Well, I hadn't been out for a few days. I would even say maybe a couple of weeks. I can't tell because literally the days go by and I don't know what date it is. So I went out a few days ago, maybe 2 or 3 days ago, to buy some supplies at the pharmacy. Oh, my glasses are looking insane. Okay. To buy some supplies at the pharmacy, and I was a little bit worried that, because everybody's stocking up and freaking out at most places in the world, according to the media. Again, take with a grain of salt sometimes. So I went to the pharmacy, and I had a crazy long list of things to buy. And I thought, oh my God, the pharmacist is going to freak out. She's going to tell me to go away because there are other people waiting. She was super, super, super patient, super nice, lovely, like really very helpful. And I have to credit, I've never been to a pharmacy in France where I haven't felt like welcomed and respected and properly served. And I will say that about French pharmacists. She was great. And so there was not a very long line, but a line of people. Nobody was stressing, nobody was getting aggressive, nobody was pushing, super calm, like super lovely atmosphere at the pharmacy. But that was my primary concern. I thought everybody's going to freak out. Pharmacy's going to be the place of craziness. No. Then I went to get a couple of things at the supermarket, and again, there were fewer people than usual. But of course, because I went out, I should specify, by the way, I put on a mask. Nobody at that time, and even probably at this time, was wearing a mask. I was the only one with a mask. I was like, I don't care what I look like, I'm going to put it on anyway. So went to the pharmacy with a mask, great. Went to the shop with a mask. And so as I was shopping and I was rushing to get home, an elderly sight-impaired woman cornered me. So I was like, okay, well, it's an elderly woman. She can't see clearly. Let me help her. She shoved some kind of cheese into my hands and said, what kind of cheese is this? I'm like, I just read the thing off the packet. I don't even know anything about cheese. So I said this and this, and she's like, yeah, but what kind of cheese? Like, and then she reeled off a list of different French cheeses. If anybody knows about the French dairy industry, you know this is a long list and that you need to be a specialist, and I better get a degree in cheesitude before I can answer a question. So I said, I don't know much about cheese, I can only tell you what it says. And she was getting irate. And then she's like, you have an accent. Where are you from? And then she started guessing, who cares, blah, 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 blah. And then she was trying to convince me that I must eat cheese. I told her I don't eat much cheese or anything, any dairy products. And she couldn't stop talking and told me that I must make these cheese and potato dumplings, and they're going to be great, and let me tell you exactly how to make them. And she kept coming closer and closer, and I was like, good thing I'm wearing a mask, stop coming closer to me. And so she kept on going on about this recipe, and I said, well, I have to go, and I made up an excuse. I said, I have kids waiting at home. Normally, at least in France, if you say you have kids waiting, they're like, oh, you must leave, of course. Nay, she grabbed my arm and said, listen to the rest of the story. She wouldn't let me go. So I ran from her clutches finally and went to another part of the store to get the rest of the things I needed. Now in even more of a panic to get out because I was afraid of her catching up with me again. Lo and behold, she caught up with me again to ask yet another question aggressively. Hello, old lady, you need my help, not the other way around. Aggressively, and wanted me to read something else off another packet. It was very, very rude. Anyway, long story short, two things. I'm very happy that I wore my mask, because if I hadn't worn my mask and that lady had been in my face the way she was, I would have freaked out at home 100%, 100 gazillion percent. So mask, great. And the other thing was also I wanted to mention fear. Well, at least in my life, I've noticed that if you fear something, it generally happens. Maybe not if you feel like horrible thing, but when you keep focusing on a thing, especially a negative thing, it can happen. And this did happen. I didn't want to run into anybody. I didn't want anybody coming very close to me because of the whole social distancing thing. Okay, keep a meter away from people. And this woman just latched onto me. So, what is the lesson here? Apart from the story being stupid and possibly boring, do whatever you can within reason that can make you feel safer and less panicked. For me, that was a mask, and I think for most people in Asia, it's compulsory now, I think. And also try to steer clear of, stay away from fearful or fear-inducing content as much as you can. And I think even when I was reading the WHO's website, WHO's website, whether you trust them or not, whatever, but the idea was like, don't keep checking the numbers, don't keep sort of filling your head with all these scary statistics and creating more fear, because logically speaking, for me there is no point in checking the statistics, because there's nothing I can do about those statistics apart from regular hygiene and all those things. And also there's no instructions. They don't give us instructions like, oh, this is the number and now you should do such and such and such, or now is the time to panic, or now whatever. So to me, it's completely useless. So if you can reduce the number of times you consult that information, I don't know, it might help you keep panic at bay. You might not be panicked. Maybe I'm panicking more than anybody else, but this is my advice anyway. So again, I'll put some links below the video. And again, I'm sorry if I'm repeating myself. I just want to make sure I'm not forgetting anything important. This is not self-promotion. It's not for promotional purposes. It's not to sell anything. It's literally just to, keep that positive momentum going as much as possible, and keep in touch with people. Really, it's very important. And when I say friends, okay, I have friends that I literally know and I've known for a while, but I feel like every person whose vlog I've watched is a friend, because they're in a difficult situation, and a lot of them are expats and they're living away from home, and I can't even imagine how scary that could be. So I want everybody watching this to know that if you need anything that I can help with, if you have any questions, if if you just want to hang out online and talk when you're feeling like isolated or scared or whatever, I'd love to know, because there's nothing that makes me sadder than the idea of somebody being alone and scared and isolated when they don't need to be. So that's the end of the debut video for 2020. I hope I have much more cheerful videos in the future. But certainly until this crisis, global crisis, has ended, I will keep making videos at least once a week, and I hope they help. Thank you so much for watching, and keep healthy, keep strong, and do fun things. Do things that make you happy. Always. Bye! Oh wait, I totally forgot. I was gonna say a really funny thing using this thing, and then I forgot to do it. Beep! Maybe I'll insert it in post-production. Bye!